2, 1. Good afternoon, everybody. We're here. We're live. We're on Facebook. I'm here with some good friends from Florida, the Sunshine State, and Carlos German, longtime friend, longtime client of ours. We've had a tremendous growth in his business, and a huge rock star in Orlando, Todd Schroth. You guys are literally pillars of the community there in Orlando. And Todd, you've been, I believe, at Remax for 18 years, is what you were telling me. And we've got a big announcement today, and I want to unpack the reasons why and what we're doing, how we're aligning, and most importantly, for anybody who's listening, how you could maybe benefit from this and how this might be able to make your 2019 the best year ever. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Excited to be here.
Excited.
It's always fun to be on a live on Facebook, or if you're watching this on YouTube, it was live. So guys, tell me a little bit about what's going on. What's the story here? Why are we celebrating here live today?
You want to go ahead? I'll start. I met with Carlos through a mutual friend, and we just sat down, and I was thinking about making a move over the last 12 months, whether it's our own franchise, or just go indie, and then got really connected into more of what eXp was, because I've seen it a few times before, or just the phone pitch, and then sat down with Carlos and really looked at everything that it had to offer, and it made sense to make the move that direction. And when we were trying to decide what we were doing, with the wanting to grow our team and just continue the business and grow bigger, it was going to cost us so much money that it didn't make sense. That's why I think our growth has been stagnant the last couple of years, wanting to add on team members. And then I've seen a couple of other agents that I know that have left Remax and gone over to eXp, called them, asked the same question: why did you leave? And it's the money. And it had nothing to do with stock options or a lot of the other things that they offer. It was just, as a Remax agent, it was the money, because we pay in, we've got our franchise fees on top, plus our desk fees, plus everything else that we do. And I love the company. I've been with them, my family, since 1986, so even longer than just my own personal time there. And it just came down to the numbers. And this allowed us to build a business within the brokerage, have our own space, create our own environment, not have the headaches of being a broker and dealing with all the logistics on that side of things. And that was one of our biggest reasons for making the move over. And the virtual stuff is pretty cool. We looked at the avatars, and my kids thought it was the greatest little thing, and they started playing with them and taking them on boat rides, and when they're getting the world. And then they realized that, hey guys, there's people in there that are asking, hey Todd, stop playing with the avatars. But that was our biggest reasons for making the move. And then when we got into understanding, attracting other agents to come in to look at the additional income we can make there, and people that want to align themselves with us but don't have to make a complete move on their own or join our team, they can work alongside of us, and we can help coach and mentor them, but not have them involved in our day-to-day personal business where they don't want to be on a team itself. And that was another advantage for us.
So what I hear you saying is that you were doing the math, and which is common this time of year, right, to do the math. Yeah. And I would challenge anybody that's watching to do the math as well. And obviously, and just to get perspective, because we didn't talk about your numbers, you have over 200 million in production, that you've accomplished in your lifetime, which is a tremendous amount of production. So when you're looking at the amount of money that you're paying wherever it is, right, you should looking at what all the fees that are involved, all the revenue that's not going in your pocket, that's going into the company you're at. There's a point at which, at least I feel like in most every situation where we've ever coached someone that was a top producer, is that there's a point where the math just doesn't make sense. And it sounds like to me you had already gotten to that point where you were looking at the math and saying, man, I want to go independent, or I want to do something, which typically independent is where most people look to. But a couple of things. Number one, the opportunity to align with people that maybe you would have never been able to get to come to your own independent company,
right.
And the ability to, really for, in a small way, the opportunity that exists, the eXp that doesn't exist, as easily, at least within your own independent. If you were to go independent, is that a fair statement?
It is, yeah. We've got the support in the background of not being independent.
Right.
We feel like we're an independent because we have our own control of things, but we've got the national brand behind us.
Right. Awesome. So Carlos, tell me a little bit about how this transpired. Obviously, anytime that I'm talking to somebody like Todd who gets it and does the math, it's not, there's not a whole lot of rocket science behind the decision. But because what I think the biggest challenge for most of us is either number one, we're happy where we're at, and there's going to be a lot of people watching this that are in Orlando or that know you guys or know you, Todd, personally, and they're not unhappy. They're happy where they're at, and they're not looking to make a change. How do you open the gate of the mind for somebody to really look at this? Because I think as we continue to talk through some of this, when you really look at it, it just makes a lot of sense in a lot of different ways for a lot of different reasons. But what was your experience, Carlos, in working with Todd and him being open-minded enough to at least sit down and do the math and take a look at it?
Yeah, and the biggest thing when it boiled down to it with Todd was, like, obviously we met, we had dinner with Angie, his wife, himself, and we went to the NAA mastermind together, and we had a lot of time together to kind of understand his wants and his needs, and the savings were good. But that's the last thing we did, Todd. Like that was the last thing. It wasn't really the number one priority. And like many people, like yourself, Jay, like myself, like many other people, Todd had seen this. Like he had heard about eXp. He had seen players move, but he was kind of like, okay, interesting, but it wasn't enough for him to actually realize this is what I want to do. So when obviously he spoke with a friend of ours, a mutual friend who's a major influencer, in our lives, and a really good person, a great family. And she said, you got to talk to Carlos, because I think that you really got to pay attention to this, and it makes sense for you based on your scenario. So you really got to talk to Carlos. So, we connected and we started talking, and at that time, it all became more about, okay, where do you want to go with your business? Like he said, he's been stagnant. So where did he want to go? And why was he stagnant? And, part of it was not being in the room, with the right people, with people that are doing 100, 200, 300 million a year, and those are the kind of people that we bring together, also having more of a business alignment for scalability, with people like yourself, like Michael Reese, like John Kitchens, who are running financial models on how to scale a business from 30 million to 100 million and beyond, which was one of his desires. And stepping out of the business, he does a lot of production. So it was part of that, and helping him get clear on how we could help him accomplish that. Despite eXp, just basically, hanging out with the right people, being in the right. And then the next level of that was the bond. If you don't like the people you're partnered with, it doesn't make sense. It has to be, you gotta like the people, and we immediately hit it off. We had a great time. Every time we got together, I mean, Todd is like super funny, super outgoing. He's an amazing person. I didn't know that from seeing him on the cover of magazines here locally and on Facebook. I didn't know how cool this guy was, and his wife and his team. And getting to know him more personally was amazing. And then him seeing how we aligned with those core values that he has of fun and growth and and scalability. So that was first. And then obviously having the tools and resources to show him the reality, and get him clear, which was, in his case, he was saving $50,000. And I was able to, do a financial analysis for him to show him how that works and why. It has nothing to do with expanding. That's the bonus. It has nothing to do with growing his team. Just from where he is today, if he doesn't do anything different, in his case, he's saving a boatload. Right. And some people don't realize that because they haven't taken the time to look at it, or they really haven't had somebody actually run the numbers accurately, for them. And, obviously Todd can do that now because I gave him the tools. I shared my tools with him so he can do that for other people. And I mean, it's all about getting clear. Once you get clear, it's game over.
Right. And so I want to mention one thing. So we're going to give, for those of you who are watching, as if there's going to be a URL you'll get if you want to see the tool to kind of compare where you're at, wherever that might be, to eXp and kind of do the math, if you will. We got a tool Carlos and Todd are going to share with you. So hang in there and we'll share that URL with you here in a little bit. Todd, question. So obviously you had the opportunity to come down, obviously I know Carlos, I've known him forever, him and Rosemary, I love them to death, great people. But got to come down to Mastermind and hang out a little bit and kind of probably, I'm guessing, open your eyes up to a little bit different thinking and probably a little bit more clarity around what eXp is and kind of some of the opportunity. But what was, the discovery part of that process? I mean, you've been in business 18 years. We tend to be doing plus or minus 10% of what each other's doing, across the industry. But,
right.
This was a kind of a different event. What was your takeaway after, coming to Key West?
I'm not one to like brokerage hop. Like I don't go to one brokerage, go to another. So it was a very hard decision for me to leave the company I've been with for so long. And I've been with them since I was a kid. Me and my parents being there, and my parents are still there. And so it took a lot to make that move. And just going down and seeing the people you had down there, Gene and Brett and the others, hearing what they had to say, and then the other agents, a couple of the Remax agents that haven't been down there that made the move, them making comments the same, hearing their reasons they moved as well. It really just, it's seeing someone from the same company make the move, I think opened my eyes up a little bit more, and knowing what support we're going to have in the background and the sharing that everyone's willing to do. Carlos and I are competitors. We typically wouldn't be sitting on a call today doing, sharing and giving ideas back and forth. And I swear we've gained a lot more knowledge from each other in the last 4 weeks than we would have shared in the last 4 years. We're not going to, a lot of my mastermind groups I go to, we got one local. It's kind of hush hush what people are doing. But you open up some ideas. The national masterminds I'm in, we're obviously more open to, talk about what everyone's doing, what's going on in their business. And, the agents that I'm talking with right now that are local, that are making moves and doing things, everyone's open to help each other. It's kind of ironic because they're in my backyard. And yet,
right.
This is what I'm doing, this is what's working.
It's something that we see all the time, and it's the abundance mindset. And first of all, it's really hard to assemble an entire room where everyone feels okay to share and truthfully share what's real in your life and in your business, right? Like that's
right.
Because you don't want to share what's working necessarily, but at the same time, you don't really want to share what's not working. You don't want the person across the room that you might be competing on a listing appointment, which is probably not as likely as we all would think it is, but
right.
you don't want to share as openly. So there's kind of an art to kind of crafting the environment where people are willing to share. And I think one of the most missed benefits of eXp's business model is this complete alignment where you lose the scarcity mindset. At least the people that we're attracting to, you guys and the people that are in that room, they don't have a scarcity mindset. They have an abundance mindset. And that is it's a small tweak, but in your own marketplace, imagine being able to partner with the top agents in the country. And in that marketplace specifically, what's working now in your market and having some alignment. And really, there's not just their willingness to share, but almost, a responsibility to share with the people that join with us at eXp. It's just a really cool business model to be able to kind of see how that I'm getting to see it in, the market across the country in different pockets where not only, on a national scale, I think we all share regardless, as long as you have that, that right mindset, but just a little tweak in the business model. And now all of a sudden everybody's opening up their playbook to help agents that really, truly want to grow, which is what I love. I mean, I love being able to be around people that want to grow and want to move to that next level and want to be challenged the way I want to be challenged. And that's just the cool benefit of the business model, in my opinion. It was a brilliant model.
Yeah, so I posted Jay in the comments so that if anybody wants to run the numbers, I mean, we're happy to help you guys with that. But at the end of the day, different people have different goals, different whys. One of the big things that Todd liked for himself and also for the people that he wants to partner with was the fact that, as you said, like I'm a product of NAEA. I came to you guys doing like 30 deals a year, struggling, breaking my back, working 80 hours a week, and not having any system, not having scalability, not having anything. And with, I'm a guy, I go deep, I don't go wide. Like I went deep on NAEA and I didn't look to the sides. I went and did elite coaching, did the mastermind, bought all the programs, all the conferences, I say boot camp, all the books, and went deep. Yeah, so really, I'm like a testament that the systems work, and this is pre XP and pre everything. So that really resonated with Todd because he's like, man, this is proven to work, and he got to meet some people that are farther along in the journey doing 600, 900 transactions a year. So different people have different whys. And no matter where you're at, like if you are a guy like me that's doing, that was doing 30 deals a year, working 80 hours a week and wants to get to, 30 million like Todd is doing. And I do over 30 million without having to work as much. Like I'm completely stepped out of my business. I have agents that I partner with and I coach them, I mentor them, and I help them. But you guys help me build a business that's sustainable on its own. And that's one of the things that Todd loved because he can offer that now to everybody. And I got to say, I paid tens of thousands of dollars, probably well over $150,000 to get that training and knowledge and resources and the mastermind. And now we're able to contribute and offer that to our partners. So I think, anybody that gets to go and sit down with some of us and understand the power of that realizes that, this group is the right room to be in to grow your business, no matter where you're at in the journey. So, it all depends what you're looking at. And some people, some leaders, they love the stocks, they love the revenue share, they love the scalability and the expansion. And, we love those people too. So super exciting, to help somebody scale all over the country and expand and grow at such a high level and get the rewards in the process. I mean, Todd, look, he almost went independent. It doesn't make as much sense to go independent. I was independent for 10 years. How many friends we have that were independent? And this model, is better if you're open-minded and you look at it and you run the numbers. So, the calculator, the financial planning that we can run for you can show you, can get you clear on why this is better than being independent.
Carlos, I look at that and, you're the type of people that I had reached out to before I made the move. You're an independent broker. Why would you go and put a name behind your company? I looked at, some other national, franchise people that are making moves or have made moves. And it's like, you're set. Why do you have that? You've already got a brand behind you. And it's funny listening to them and their stories of why they're making the move. And especially in independent, because there's a lot of independent brokers out there who are struggling to get to the next level with their offices. And I think the tools that eXp offers, with KB Core and Commissions Inc. and Making It Rain and stock options, it's another thing that they can offer to their agents. And my team is, they're excited the tools that we have to offer, and it's like a fire hose of information sprayed at you. So I haven't had time to delve into everything yet in the 4 weeks I've been with the company, or 3 weeks. But it's, you need a week off just to go through everything and get the process and figure it all out, and then add in the stuff that Kinder Reese offers, and that's another additional bonus being aligned with this group.
No doubt about it.
I know one of your goals, Todd, is obviously to become an icon agent, which will be, probably in a few months with your production. What does that mean to you? Why is that important?
We've always achieved the high-level award with Remax, and I just like being, connected and aligned with the top agents. So if it's a matter of, pushing ourselves further to become the icon agent, we're going to get there and crush it.
Absolutely. And it doesn't hurt to get a $16,000 stock award in the process.
No. And you know what? That makes the company break even for me then. It doesn't cost me anything. So
right.
That's another added bonus. I'm still trying to learn all that stuff, all the little bonuses there.
Right, and it's funny because it's even if the stock goes nowhere, which we can't predict, stock's going to go up or down. But the opportunity for that to be where something is better than I'm sure over the 18 years you've got probably more hardware and awards than you could probably imagine. I know I did when I was with Coldwell Banker, and which is great. I appreciated the recognition, but there's absolutely zero value in all of those awards. Versus at least this is the potential for being an asset for you in the future.
Right. Now I've got some shelves behind me that we had the awards on, and they were getting too heavy, so we've got to reposition the shelves. But it's great. It's heavy hardware, but it only goes so far, and the clients don't care. And
right.
If they care, it's because they think they've got their head too high up.
Right.
Yeah. One thing I want to add now that I think about it, obviously, Todd. One of the big things that made him clear was actually hanging out with us in a mastermind setting. And we do happen to have a mastermind coming up in a couple of weeks here. And, obviously Todd and I will be there. We got some friends coming as well from our group. So, if anybody wants to hang out with us anywhere in the country, you want an invite to mastermind with Jay, Mike, myself, Todd, definitely hit us up, message us on Facebook, or however way you want to message us, and we'll be happy to extend an invite. It's for elite people, and whatnot. We definitely want to make sure this is high level stuff. So if you want to do big things, whether you're selling 5 houses today, but you want to sell 100, or you have 2 agents today, but you want to build a team that has 100, then you definitely got to be in that room. Our next mastermind. So, hit us up and let us know you're interested.
Right. So we're on Facebook Live. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, you can message any of us from here on Facebook Live. Obviously, Todd Schroth, Carlos German, myself, Jay Kinder. Easy to find. So, and what you heard is right. We have a mastermind. I know we've got one coming up in this month, which is January. What is that? The 14th to the 16th, is that right?
Oh yeah.
And then I do know the next mastermind is going to be at the Kentucky Derby. So for those of you who've never experienced the Kentucky Derby, it is an absolute bucket list item. It's going to be some of the top agents from around the country. We're going to be gathering up. So if you want to attend, make sure you message us. If you're watching this on YouTube, the details and links are all going to be in the description of this particular video. For you to reach out and request to join us. And again, this is masterminding about our real estate businesses as much as it is talking about what we're doing at eXp. But it's for people that really want to grow. And I think that's if that's you and you're interested in doing better and having a better life than where you're at, and improving every day. That's kind of the kind of who I would say this is the calling card for. But yeah, so guys, appreciate you guys jumping on. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me say something to that, Jay, because this is very important. Like you guys are fun, and that's what I love about our group, like through the years, like I would have never gone to the X Games in Aspen. Never in my life would have gone to it. Yeah, but I went because we were masterminding there. I would never have gone to the World Championship of Superboats. Never my life would have gone to the World Championship of Superboats. And there I was because of you guys. So, we have fun. We go to exclusive events, exclusive destinations. And again, it's about growing our business, hanging out with top level individuals, crushing it, sharing ideas, best practices, what's working. You can learn about what we're doing with eXp as well while you're there because, a lot of us are, moving to that model, but not everybody. You get an exclusive invite into something that, costs over $2,000 a month to be part of.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, it's not $25,000. If this invite we're giving you, and if you're watching this and it's past the Derby, there's another one coming up. So I think we're trying to do these about once a quarter, on top of some monthly events that we do as well. So yeah. So reach out, you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't know, the best thing you could do, I think, Todd opened up with something I thought was really great, was the fact that he reached out and he talked to a few different people to get their perspective. And, if you're just going to sit on the log and not do anything, at least the least you could do is hear from someone that's made the jump and their reasons why, and do the math. So request the calculator, do the math, reach out to us on Facebook. Request an invite to one of our masterminds. We'd love to have you, and appreciate you guys jumping on. Is there anything you guys would add to anybody that's watching this before we sign off?
No, just the comment on the masterminds for one. It was interesting. When we were talking in Key West, she said you like to design these around epic events, the boat races down there. Never heard of the boat races in Key West. Never thought I'd go to them. And it was cool to see the boats when I was flying in. I flew in, unfortunately, the day before you guys were having the event, but it was like all the go fast boats out there. And Carlos, when he first sent me a video to see who we were aligning with, and it was one of your events you guys had. I don't know where it was, but it was just, people doing backflips off of a large yacht, and I thought that was awesome. I'm like, I'll probably be the old guy falling off the yacht, the backflip going face forward, but hey, it'll be worth a shot.
Yeah, that's BVI, and we'll be doing BVI again this year. So you'll have your chance. I think all of us belly flopped once or twice off of the big boat there. So,
my pool.
Yeah, well, it was a good time though. That's another one that's probably one of our favorite places. So yeah, looking forward to that, man. I'm glad you're part of the family at eXp, and looking forward to our future together and growing each other's businesses and our mindsets, and being aligned to change each other, but also to grow the people around us and change people's lives. So you guys, it's always a pleasure. Carlos, always a pleasure. Todd, great to have you on, and I'm looking forward to the next one. You guys, see you at the next event.
All right, see you soon.
Thanks,
Carlos.
All right, thank you, Todd.